Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dolynny TV. I'm Tyson Dolynny, ready to take you through another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion. And today, well, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves quite the discussion to get to because we got some kids we're going to be excited to watch all over the holidays. All over the holidays. Sorry, the cat's just jumping up, making her presence known today. And Miss Zapp is, of course, a distraction, but you can't distract too much from the headlining news in Canada. It's not even Edmonton Oilers news. It's not, it's not NHL news. It is World Junior Championship news. And guys, it's December 2nd. Our favorite time of the year is just around the corner when TSN puts on the best show of the year that they do outside of the CFL, that being the World Junior Championships this year, coming to you from the Czech Republic for the 2020 World Junior Championships. And let me tell you, the best part about this is we've got Team Canada's roster out and available, and two Edmonton Oilers have made that roster, and we'll talk about them in this video. But first, what I want you to do, if you're new to the channel or returning and still haven't done it, just hit that subscribe button. It gets you the Edmonton Oilers news I talk about, discussions, everything that much quicker. It gets into your feed, you're able to see it, and you don't have to go hunting for it. So that's my recommendation. You don't have to take it, but I would appreciate if you did. So without further ado, guys, let's get to this. As well, it is a guy in Raphael Lavoie and a guy in Olivier Rodrigue who have been named to the Edmonton Oilers, or the Edmonton Oilers prospects, the two Edmonton Oilers prospects named to Team Canada's roster. And of course, well, you're asking what's going on with these two? Who are they? What are they about? Raphael Lavoie is the Edmonton Oilers' second round pick this year in the 2019 draft that just happened. 38th overall. He was projected to go in the first round. He fell out of the first round, and here he goes to us. And it's fantastic because, guys, that's an absolute steal. And he's proved that ever since he was drafted. Like, he had a great development camp. He's been looking good all over the place. He had a great QMJHL versus Russia series, and especially, you look at his stats in the QMJHL for the Halifax Mooseheads so far this year. He had 62 points in 73 points in 62 games last season for a 1.18 points per game. This year he's got 41 points. We'll break that down in a second, in 28 games for a 1.46. So he times that by 62 if that's what he plays. He'll have 91-ish points if he doesn't just start tearing it up later on this season. But, of course, subject to change, because if he makes this selection camp roster and gets named to the full roster, it's selection camp, I forgot to mention that. If he breaks the entire roster that will go to the Czech Republic, he will miss a good chunk of games in the CHL. Not too many, but of course you're going to go through selection camp, yada, yada, yada. So there will be games missed, but still, to Raphael Lavoie, if he plays 50 games and puts up more than 73 points, guys, that is looking solid for his first year overdraft eligible in the QMJHL. So that's just Raphael Lavoie. Let's break down those stats a little bit more, shall we? I forgot to do that, and I'm almost walking away without doing it. He's had 36 penalty minutes in 28 games. We know this guy is capable of taking penalty minutes in his career. He had 43 2 years ago, 31 for Halifax last year. Now in 28 games, he's up a little bit higher, but you know what? He's a power forward style player, right? He's big. He's 6'4", 196, and he's a big guy that can really protect the puck. So sometimes he's gonna maybe cross the line. I don't know what's really happened. I definitely can't claim to have watched every Halifax Mooseheads game this year. I think I've watched about 10 minutes, but it is what it is. So you know what? 17 goals. 24 assists for Raphael Lavoie. And guys, I don't have to sit here and tell you I've watched the kid. Guys, no matter how much you've watched this kid, you're excited for him. Outside of the first round, this is obviously, generally speaking, the second round is the next most exciting to watch. But this is the most exciting kid in the NHL entry draft for us outside of the top 10 that we drafted in Philip Broberg at number 8, because this guy is exactly what we need on that top line one day. Or if we don't choose to go that way because we keep Zach Kassian, well, ladies and gentlemen, you could definitely use him with Nuge. You bring a Zach Kassian guy with a little bit more skill, so told in his junior game so far, well, you're going to tell me that Raphael Lavoie could do very well alongside Nugent Hopkins, and if it's still Neil at that point, it's still Neil, but we'll find out. So that's just that. That is Raphael Lavoie. Now, the other guy we are really excited about, and the guy who, well, by all means is now with the Moncton Wildcats after spending 3 years in junior with the Drummondville Voltigeurs. Mr. Moncton Wildcats Olivier Rodrigue. 19 games played. He's had 2 assists in net. That's a funny stat because you look at his previous years. He had 3 assists in 48 games last year and 2 assists in 53 games the year previous. So he's well on his way to smashing that record. And then the other key here is in 19 games, he's played 1,152 minutes. So he's played a lot of minutes, guys. That's fantastic to see as well. And the other side, too, is 49 goals against for a 255 goals against average with 1 shutout already in 19 games. So he'll be around career average pace, either 1 or 2 or 3, somewhere in there. And then the record. This is where it gets good. This is where it gets really good for the Moncton Wildcats and Olivier Rodrigue. Right now, his record is sitting at 15-4-0 according to HockeyDB. I hope this is up to date. I could be burned by that, but here's what it is. And his save percentage is a .912. Now, we got him with the final draft pick in the second round. So both second rounders from the previous 2 years, not including Ryan McLeod, are in the World Junior Selection Camp for the Edmonton Oilers. And obviously, Olivier Rodrigue is another guy similar to Stuart Skinner, similar to Dylan Wells, who we're hoping comes through and actually delivers something in the crease for us in the NHL at some point. He looks good. He's 19 years old. Lots of development to go yet. You probably won't see him in an Oilers uniform till he's 22, 23, and that would put him about 2023 at this point. So you know what, that's interesting because not necessarily he could rise. He could be the cream that bubbles to the top because you know what, Stuart Skinner, Dylan Wells, Shane Starrett, they're all subject to change. Goaltenders go like this, stock goes like that all the time, and you just never know with a young goalie where they're going to pan out in your lineup. And of course, Shane Starrett's deal is he's pretty much got to find some NHL playing time this year, or he may end up walking away if I've got the stats correct, or if we just don't tender him an RFA contract if he can't just walk away. So Shane Starrett, an interesting cog in that wheel. Well, Stuart Skinner, a cog in that wheel too. He's up with the big club right now on emergency basis for Mike Smith. So essentially, these guys still have to go through the World Junior Selection Camp, and maybe what I should kind of run up against is the other roster for the NHL, or for the World Juniors. Let me get going, and let's get down here. Where is it? I saw it on TSN this morning, so we have to make sure we get rolling. TSN's had lots of pictures out today. 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago, BC Lions have hired Rick Campbell as their head coach. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. 4 hours ago, holy crap, they put out the content, that's for sure. So let's get this going here. Lafreniere highlights World Junior Showcase roster. That's what I'm looking for. Perfect. Let's get this going. And where is it? So goaltending wise, you've got Nico Dawes, you've got Joel Hofer, Hunter Jones, and Olivier Rodrigue. And guys, Nico Dawes is a 2020 draft year, so his year's eligible this year. St. Louis draft pick Joel Hofer in 2018. Hunter Jones of a draft pick from Peterborough in the 2019 draft for Minnesota. And then, of course, Olivier Rodrigue, the 2018. So I think the competition will come down to 6'5" Joel Hofer and Olivier Rodrigue. That just seems to be the way it goes. But you maybe go with size in net, and that could be Hunter Jones as well. So Olivier Rodrigue's got to impress in selection camp. He's been doing all the things right so far, but need more out of him. And then on the forward front for the Edmonton Oilers, the other side is Mr. Raphael Lavoie, and from Halifax, the 2019 draft pick, 6'4", 198. Let me read you this list because this could be a fun team to watch. Quinton Byfield, Dylan Cousins, Ty Dellandrea, Aiden Dudas. You've got Nolan Foote, Liam Foudy, Benoit Olivier Groux. Then you've got Dylan Holloway, Peyton Krebs, Alexis Lafreniere. You've got Raphael Lavoie in there, Connor McMichael, not McDavid. McMichael, remember how much of a stink everybody made about him at the draft because he was McMichael, not McDavid. And why don't the Oilers draft him? Dawson Mercer, Alex Newhook, Jacob Pelletier, Cole Perfetti, and Akil Thomas. So there's a lot of talent on this World Junior Showcase or World Junior Selection Camp. Geez, if I can keep it straight in my head. But Raphael Lavoie and Olivier Rodrigue, guys, if I have to handicap it, they are both on this team. Barring any personal off-ice issues, barring any stupid incidents on the ice kind of deal, in time to play in the Czech Republic come, well, our favorite time of the year. That span between Christmas and just after the New Year, when all our hopes rest on young guys, 19, 18 years old, going out there fighting for their country in one of the most prestigious tournaments when it comes to world hockey. Straight up. I don't know how it's played out. The World Junior Championships. Guys, my favorite time of the year, honestly, back when I was younger. You were out of school, you were invested, it was a great time, you fought in tooth and nail to watch the TV as often as possible when a game was on. You got to learn about all these rookies, and guys, a lot of guys have gone on to great careers after the World Junior Showcase, or World Junior Championship. Why do I keep saying showcase? I don't know, I'm just having a clown day. But then you've got stories, I believe, like Marcus Granlund's story, when he's stayed in Canada to play with the Calgary Flames after the championships, and that was a big stink. There was a lot going on back in the day, and these championships are a launching pad. Remember Cale Makar a couple of years ago having one of the biggest showcases? Everybody thought he was so overrated as a 4th overall draft pick. That was the first time Canada woke up and smelt the roses when it came to Cale Makar, and I had already smelt them in Bonnyville in 2016, but you know what? Everybody comes at a different time. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I'm going to peace out. That is your recap on how excited I am to see, hopefully, come December 26th, Raphael Lavoie and Olivier Rodrigue in the lineup for Team Canada. Guys, I am up on out of here.